came to my first networking event, one of the speakers was Keone and I just got into the community, got into the space, and when he spoke about his journey, I don't want to say too much because he might talk about it, but his sacrifice on how he was very intentional with his time. So he lives all the way on the west side, right, in Waianae, and he said that he would catch the bus every day to and from work so he could do research on real estate, right? He dedicated the time. Then sit down, please. Instead of sitting in traffic and listening to music, right, he could put on a podcast, right, and listen to other investors. But he took it even a step further. He's like, I'm not going to drive. I'm going to ride the bus. I don't know about you. Me personally, when I have to ride the bus, I'm like, oh my God, I want to ride the bus. I don't want to ride the bus, right? It's more like a field trip. Come, son, you want to go on the bus? But this kid, I don't want to take him anywhere because he doesn't listen. Right? So he listens sometimes. So when I first came to my first event, hearing Keone and his story, to me it was like, hey, what sacrifices am I making to take the next step? And till this day, I still look up to him, as a mentor and investor in the community, a local person doing what I want to do by taking massive action and making sacrifices. So everyone, please give a round of applause for Keone Katian.
Thank you. How's it going, everybody? You guys doing all right out there? Nice, nice. Before I begin, I actually definitely want to thank WNN. Can we give them a round of applause? I want to thank CJ, Jasmine, definitely Tawny, but you know who I want to thank? I want to thank Blaze. Blaze, where you at? Hey, this marketing that he did on social media by basically advertising the For Real Estate Conference and standing behind all of our bios, that was the best, bro. Like, I appreciate that. So like, mahalo you guys. I mean, I really appreciate the work that you guys are putting on to put on these events. I know it's hard work. And just seeing the audience and the way you guys are thriving with the group, man, like big time. So like, I was talking with CJ earlier and Jasmine, like, so obviously they're not here anymore. They're back here, but it's been a long time, man. Yeah, we've come a long ways. What I'm saying is that we're from the west side, and obviously he'll tell his story. But if you guys know his story, like they put together this whole thing because we didn't want to keep driving to town, right? Driving to town is like, man, we want to do something on the west side for the local people, and we can basically really be intentional about things. And when they started it up, it was just the three of us. At the Kroc Center, there's three of us for a long time, and just to see how it completely flourished, man, super proud of you guys. Yeah, so awesome. I'm actually gonna change my presentation a bit just because I love the VIP breakfast meet and greets that we had this morning. There was a lot of powerful conversations, and I noticed that there was a lot of conversations that talked about there's more uncertainty. That's what I think it was. Like, I don't know what's going on right now, and I don't know how to get started. There was a lot of things that, yes, I mean, you guys want to know about me, jump on my IG page, but I want to unpack a lot of things, and I want to over deliver to you guys. And I think it's going to really drive a message home to you guys. So by show of hands, how many of you feel confident and feel at ease with the state of the world, the current state of the world? Yeah. How about the current state of the real estate market? You guys feel good about that? You guys have a clear path on where we're headed? Crystal clear or clear as mud? Yeah. Can we all agree that these are times of uncertainty? Kind of what I wanted to start off. Like I said, I'm going to shift this thing, but I want to start off by sharing with you guys. When there is change, when it's scary, when something new happens, there is there is a stress response reaction that happens within each and every one of us, yeah? And that reaction is called fight or flight. How many of you are familiar with that? Yeah. It's a survival mechanism that enables people to respond and react quickly to life-threatening situations. So you're either going to fight that threat off, or you're going to flee, run away, or fly from that situation. Yeah? Fight or flight. Well, I think that there is a third F. And I believe that third F, it's even more relevant in today's world. Even more pertinent in today's real estate market. How many of you in real estate? Yeah, I think it's even more prevalent. And that third F is freeze. Yes, freeze. Want you all to start thinking about that today. You see, I think that with all the crap that's led to these uncertain times, times of inflation, times of recession talks, times of rising interest rates, right? We just had another rate hike, yeah? For those of you who are following. All this uncertainty, it leads to inner self-doubt, which leads to lowering of self-confidence, which ultimately leads to you questioning yourself, yeah? Should I really get started in real estate investing now? Should I not buy that house? Should I wait to buy? Should I wait to sell? What should I do? Should I invest? What should I invest in? Should I take my money out of the stock market? Is my 401k going to go away forever? Is the market going to go back up? Maybe I should take out my money and sit on cash. But if I do that, don't they say cash is trash? But if I sit on cash and it's trash and the market goes down and, right? All this uncertainty builds. And if uncertainty builds, guess what happens? Freeze. I don't think investing is for me. I don't think right now is a good time for me to do anything that has to do with investing. So what happens? You sit on your hands, you do nothing, and you turn into Elsa, frozen. Let it go. Right? In all seriousness, though, all jokes aside, if I can be honest with you, and I will always do my best to be honest with you, I'm telling you this. This is not the time for you to freeze. This is the time for you to thrive. Yeah? This is the time for you to take action. This is the time for you to gain momentum. Yeah? And skill sets and capabilities. Because I'm going to tell you this, many people around you will freeze. Yeah? Although we're not quite there yet, as time goes on, more and more uncertainty will climb, confidence will go down, and more people will freeze. So, if everybody's standing around you frozen, what happens if you can be the one? Yeah? What if you can build a stronger mindset and can anticipate this and can prepare for this? You can gain momentum, and you and your business can exponentially grow. I'm going to share a quick story with you guys. 2020. Who can tell me what global event dominated 2020? Exactly, the pandemic, COVID lockdown. Time of uncertainty? Yeah? Scary times that cause people to what? Freeze. Yeah. Speaking personally, I want to tell you this. This was a time that I drew a line in the sand, made a conscious decision that said, this is my time to thrive. And I'm looking out in this audience, and I can attest for a bunch of you as well that made the same decision. My fellow investors out there, we made a time to thrive. 2020 and 22, from a business standpoint, absolutely amazing. Crushed, smashed, yeah? Deals on the wide, for sure. All because I didn't sit on my hands and I decided to take massive action. And that's what we all did. I share this with you not to brag. I share this with you as a reminder that success leaves clues. We just have to be willing to get out of our own way. And when I say that, get out of here. Get out of our own heads. Yeah? You see, what I hope to do with you today is to reframe your mind. I want to shift your mindset a little. I want to encourage you to take action. What I really want you to know is that things are going to get really, really tough for a lot of people. But this is your time to thrive. This is your time to exponentially grow. This is your time to step into that next level leader, yeah, that's living inside of you. This is your time to crush that self-doubt. Crush it harder, stronger than ever before. This is your time to get rid of those old stories and craft new ones. This is your time to realize that, yes, people will freeze and run or flee and go backwards. And you have to be that leader, that example for your family, that example for your friends. Yeah? If you can look in those lenses and have that paradigm mind shift and change your mind and say, I'm sorry, it's coming, but bring it. I'm ready. You feel what I'm saying? And look, with the time that I have with you guys today, I'm not going to be able to give you all the answers, nor am I claiming to have all the answers, because I don't. Guys, I'm playing the same game as you. I'm on the same journey. I'm on the same path. I'm just currently at a different level in this game. You know what I'm saying? I want you guys to know that, yes, this is the time to thrive, but we got to make sure that we get out of our own heads. I feel that the question we have to ask ourselves is, it's not, can we handle the situation? The question is, can we manage our mind? Yeah? Can we manage the emotions and the thoughts that's trying to poison our process? So forget handling the situation. Can we manage our mind? We need to train our mind to sit calmly in the eye of the storm. Yeah? I just feel that this is the type of mindset that we need to have right now to crush it in Q4. And for those of you who do, Q4 stuff, quarter four, fourth quarter, whatever you want to call it, I feel that Q4 is not to finish strong. Q4 is to propel you, earmuffs for the kids, to fucking dominate in 2024. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So who's up for this shift in mindset? Let's go. How many of you out there are looking to get into real estate or getting started in real estate? By a show of hands. Cool. Since this is a for real estate conference, let me say this. For real. Getting started in this business and trying to scale your business, and more importantly, trying to sustain your business for longevity, it's not for the faint of heart. It's hard. Kids, earmuffs. It's fucking hard. It's hard work to sustain yourself in this business, guys. 90% is mental and effort. That's the reality. And only 10% of that is about the tactics and the strategies. Let me say that again. 90% mental and effort. And only 10% of it is about the tactics and the strategies. Yes, you have to educate yourself, for sure. But you have to be willing to take massive action. And a lot of times it requires you to get dirty because it's messy action. And a lot of the times it doesn't feel comfortable. Super uncomfortable. That's why the saying is, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Facts. Big facts. And not to be a Debbie Downer, but this is all just part of the process. Time and time again, I find myself bearing witness to probably the single biggest mistake that a lot of people make when they're trying to break into this business. And that is that they try to run from the execution part of the process. What does that mean? Coming out of the gates, you have to go through part of the phase of this business that's called the hustler phase. Yeah? You have to get in there. You have to pay your dues. You have to do whatever is necessary and take the necessary actions. Again, the messy actions in order to get this thing up off the ground, get some feet up underneath it, and get it going. But you know what happens? They run from it. And the reason why is, in my opinion, entrepreneurs, we're visionaries. Come up with the grandiose ideas, right? And I'm going to just hire out. I'm going to delegate it out, right? Well, that's all the thing that we're going to do. We're going to automate everything. Not in the beginning, guys. We got to put in the work, yeah? Later on, yes, you can build out the SOPs. You can systematize it. You can build out the systems and the processes and all of those things. But in the beginning, you got to get your ass in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? You got to get dirty. Put in the goddamn work. That's what it's all about. Here's a example that should drive this home. And I love sharing this example, especially with the local brothers. If I called up Rod and I said, Brother Rod, bro, I read every book, man. I just came back from Las Vegas. I attended this seminar. 2,000 plus people, man. I've watched every single YouTube video that there is on this thing. I've listened to all the podcasts that there is on this thing on how to become a great MMA fighter. Yeah? I've watched it all. I've listened to it all. And I think I'm ready to become a UFC fighter. Let's get Dana White on the phone and let's get me in the ring. Get me in the octagon, dude. I'm ready. Rod would look at me like I'm freaking crazy. And he would be right. You cannot learn to become an entrepreneur. You cannot learn to build a business without getting in the actual ring. Yeah? And so I would say to you this, my first piece of advice. Feel free to write this down. Number one, go into this business. Whatever vertical you're choosing on getting into, but prepare to get hit. Yeah? Go into this thing as if you wanted to be a great MMA fighter or a great UFC fighter. But what is the one thing you have to do? I have to get in the ring. I have to be willing to be coached. I have to be willing to get hit. I have to be willing to get hit a lot. I have to be willing to get all the bumps and the bruises and all the broken bones and all the things because, kids, earmuffs. That's how fucking champions are built. You see, if you're approaching wholesaling or fixing and flipping or looking to build rental portfolios of STRs, MTRs, LTRs, I don't give a shit what kind of real estate strategy you're trying to implement. If you're walking to this in any way, shape, or form, thinking that you can educate yourself to a point that you will not get hit, bruh, you're in for a rude awakening. It is not a matter of if you'll get run out of this business. It is a matter of when. People, this is not cupcakes, rainbows, and sunshine. You have to expect to get hit. But on the other side, you have to expect to persevere. You have to expect to learn the lessons and keep moving forward. Does that resonate with everybody? And so I would say this, because if it is a mental game, sorry, I only get 2 minutes. My man is cutting me right here. So if this is a mental game, then let me just say this. And feel free to write this down. Number 2, you speak your future. You speak your future. The words that come out of our mouth are extremely powerful. So when you are telling yourself and you're trying to get started in this business or you're trying to scale your business or build portfolios of rentals, whatever it is, the words that come out of your mouth will either make it real or not. What does that mean? Well, whenever you're speaking, there is always one person that is listening. That is you. Yeah? So when you find yourself telling you why I can't go make offers, why I can't find deals, why I can't get any deals under contracts, why I can't this or why I can't that, I can't because of this. Oh, I can't because of that. That is not true. Let's be clear. That is not true. What is true is this. Write this down. Lastly, number 3. Replace the words can't and cannot with the words I choose not to. Replace the words can't and cannot with the words I choose not to. The language used is powerful. When you say, or when I say I can't and I replace it with I choose not to, it's true, it's real, it's factual, and it doesn't feel good. So when you're fighting for a dream and you say to yourself, I can't make the time to go and make offers on properties or look at properties, that is not true. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. What is true? When you say the words, it's actually, I choose not to make the time to go look at those properties. And you are speaking facts. It doesn't feel good, and therefore it changes your behavior. That is a lazy person's way of speaking when they say, I can't or I cannot. Because if you say that, you'll make it real. That is a lazy person's way of thinking. That is a lazy person's way of speaking. They are not being mindful of the words that are coming out of their mouth. Yeah? You speak your future. You own it. You own your outcome. How much time left? I'm good? Let me just say this. This is not about education. It's about effort. Yeah? If you 100% can get out of your own way and get out of your head and get your head right, sky's the limit, guys. That's all I'm going to say is that success is inevitable. But I want to tell you guys that do not lull yourself to sleep. Do not seduce yourself. Don't con yourself. We are the greatest salesmen in the world to ourselves. Yeah? Just remember that. There is nothing that is preventing you from doing this except one thing. What's going on in between your ears. Regardless of whatever going on, just remember that all of this uncertainty, all of this recession talks, all of these things, the place that lives is in the outside world. Up here, in here, it's time for prosperity. Appreciate you guys. Mahalo.
All right. So our next speaker, our last speaker, he is my personal mentor. He's actually the co-founder of WNN Properties. And if you didn't know what WNN Properties stands for, it's why not now, right? So every time you come up with an excuse, or I'm going to do it later, or it's not the right time, why not now? Because I chose not to, right? In my head, that went differently. All right, give a round of applause for CJ Callio.
Oh my goodness, Keone. How the hell am I going to follow that? No, it's a pleasure to be back here. For most of you guys don't know that we moved, right? So I'm born and raised from Hawaii, but we recently relocated to Reno, Nevada about 20 months ago, and it's really beautiful up there, and it's still not home. So it's a real privilege and an honor to be back in Hawaii on stage in front of you. During the VIP session, had a lot of questions about who are you? You know, and it's a legit question. So I told everybody I'd share my story. And Keone took us back to when we had that meetup, and I'd like to go a little further back from that. So the context I want to set is to show you guys that I'm nobody special, and I still found success taking massive action. So about 9 years ago, pre-real estate, my profession was a UPS driver. My wife's was a mail carrier. Go figure, we met en route. She was stalking me, had the short shorts. Yeah. I did the Bennett snap, delivery. Yeah. Got her good. See, the thing is that UPS is a very good job, right? It pays a lot of money. You guys just got word about their contract and whatnot that was in the newspaper. It's a big deal. UPS makes really good money. So does the post office. So the question is, why would you leave? Why? I didn't want to leave at first. I was ready to retire as a UPS driver. I didn't graduate with good grades. I barely graduated. I had sub 2.0 GPA. All the educated people in the house. Yeah. Yeah, same here. Barely graduated. So this is the pinnacle of what I thought I could achieve. back to what Keone is saying, what you speak, you believe, right? I was told a lot of things that I chose to believe from others, okay? You're not going to be successful. You don't have good grades. You didn't go to college. You had a kid out of wedlock. How are you ever going to make anything of your life? And I bought into that. So having UPS as my profession was like the jackpot. See, the thing is I got comfortable at UPS. How many of you are comfortable where you're at? Oh, so you guys ready for change? Because change is uncomfortable. I think Steve brought it up, right? Change is scary. Keone brought it up. And you have a choice. Choose or not to choose. It's up to you. For me, I chose to stay there. It's a good paying profession. It paid my bills. We had a good, healthy lifestyle. I only had to work one job instead of two here in Hawaii, right? How many of you resonate with that? Family, friends, two, sometimes three jobs. I only had to work one. However, this one demanded a lot of me. See, for you guys that may not know, UPS has this time of year. I know there's a few UPS guys in the crowd, but there's this time of year where we don the brown Santa suit. You know what I mean? We start to deliver your packages, bring your gifts, and we work really long hours. And up until this particular Christmas, I was okay with it. I felt fulfilled delivering packages and seeing the happy faces on the kids and, you know, here's your little toy, you little brat. It was good. It was good. Up until this one Christmas. See, the thing about comfort is it's comfortable until you're not. I wasn't prepared. Being comfortable, you're never prepared for anything. You just kind of accept it as it is. I wasn't prepared for what I was going to face this particular Christmas. I call it the Christmas from hell. The Christmas from hell, Jeff knows, Brandon, he also knows. We were not prepared as a company. We didn't have enough staff. We didn't have enough trucks. We didn't have enough anything. We outgrew the space. Packages were spilling over into the street. It was one of those Christmases, and it started early and it ended late. And I found myself trading a lot of my time for money that I didn't really want at this point because I wanted to see my family. You know, Christmas is the time of year you want to spend with the loved ones. You want to be around those who matter. And I wasn't around them. And this persisted for almost 6 months where I was working 7 days a week, 80 hours a week. It was just crazy busy, and I was depressed. I was angry. I was frustrated. I was cussing when I never cussed before at work because I was the angel driver, right? No, I wasn't satisfied. So the thing is during this whole episode of my emotions going up, my intelligence actually dropped. I didn't think clearly, but I did have one thing on my mind, leaving UPS. This isn't something I want to do for the next 30 years, so I get to make a decision on what I'm going to do after this Christmas. So once things subsided, still frustrated and angry and upset with how things were going, I presented my wife, Jasmine, a question. Can I leave UPS? To my surprise, I got the, heck yeah, you can. I support you. Now I have a question back for you. How are you going to replace your income? See, I never thought that far ahead, being emotional, you know, my intelligence went down. I was just like, screw it. I want out. I can't do this. I want to be able to have more freedom and time. Never thought about the financial responsibility I have as a man, a provider, a husband, a father, right? I was in it. I was in my stuff. So when she proposed that, I was like, I don't know. Well, I'll go figure it out. See, the thing is during the 6 months I was working those long hours and not seeing her or the kids, she's already pre-researching. That's who she is. She does her homework. She starts investigating, and she came to the conclusion that all successful, wealthy people have some level of real estate in their portfolio, right? So she proposed real estate. Well, being the educated kid, guy, whatever man I was at the time, I said, hell no. I don't know real estate. I don't have any experience in contracting or handyman skills or any of that. It basically brought up a level of fear. How many of you can relate to fear when you talk about real estate, right? I had fear. So what I chose to do was basically what Keone said. I froze. I didn't know how to respond to that question. And then my next instinct was to run, flight. I ran away from my biggest supporter who just said I could quit. I said, no, you go do real estate. I'll go find something else I can do, which is what I did. For the next 6 to 9 months, I went off and I did everything you could think of under the sun that I physically, personally, or educatedly could do, which is do startups. Things I thought I knew I could do: landscaping, car detailing, selling car parts, house cleaning services, joining MLM, hoping to get rich quick, right? That was my thing. So I went through that. I went through 9 failed businesses in a matter of 9 months. Not a stark response because statistically, 9 out of 10 fail within the first year anyway. So I was that statistic. Well, 9 months later, more frustrated, more angry, more time spent in things that didn't matter, didn't produce a return, more money out of pocket, and a pissed off wife saying, why the hell are you waiting? Get on board with me. I finally turned the corner. See, the thing is, I turned the corner, but I didn't fully. I was one of those husbands at the bar, not willing to network. If you catch the cue, everything was about networking, right? Deflecting. Go talk to my wife. She's the boss lady. See, the thing is in being this type of space, being in the network, no matter where you're at, whether you're at the bar or in the front row, you start to pick up on things. How many of you got some value out of this meetup so far? Good show of hands. Good. Yeah. And it starts with you showing up. So I want to acknowledge you all for taking your time, which is your most valuable asset, to be here. Now, it's your responsibility to choose into it a return on your investment, which is what I didn't get. So Keone alluded to it too. Mindset. Mindset is what separates the best from the rest. And in that state of my journey, I didn't have the right mindset to receive information. I was barely grabbing a hold of these acronyms: ARV, LTV, ROI, IRR, PM, something LEN. I couldn't resonate with it. However, I continued to show up. And the more I showed up, the more I started to understand, picking up on this second language of real estate, the more I got to meet people like you guys and other successful investors who were doing it. And they weren't just doing it to tell me about how great their deals were. They were also sharing their lessons learned and their failures. It made it real for me. And all of a sudden, this coat meetup is what I called it when I first went, right, Jazz? Called them coat meetups, the REI meetups. They're coats. I drank the Kool-Aid. I found myself interacting and engaging and putting myself into opportunity, realizing I'm investing this time. I better make a return on it. So I started to meet people and get interested in what they're doing and find ways of investing in real estate that I never even imagined, but they're doing it and they're finding success in it. And the cool thing is I won't admit this. Well, I guess I am admitting this publicly. Jazz was right. She was right from the start. Real estate was our journey. It solved the solution, or it was a solution to our problem, which is to replace my income. So after going to all these meetups and getting more confidence, I did what Keone said to do: take massive action. So we did. We bought our first property out of state, still scared as hell, still wondering if this is going to be success. I didn't even know if it was a real thing. I just know it had an address, and supposedly somebody was writing us a check. And they did. So we sat on it, choosing into finding a proof of concept, making sure that this thing is real, right? I hear the stories. People are successful. I'm doing it now. Now I need to figure out, is this really real? We did. We sat on it, noticed it was real, and then the bug kicked in. All of a sudden, all that messy work that Keone was talking about, all that uncomfortableness that Steve is telling me about, we chose in, and we chose in big. And we went from one to a large portfolio of 100 doors in a matter of 5 years, which got me and my wife both out of our jobs. And it was a choice we made back when we first started going to these meetups to put ourselves in an opportunity by networking. So if you ain't catching the clue, network, guys. There's value here. Big players, small players, medium players. It doesn't matter that. It's about getting in the space and learning something that you can go and take the next step with. So my next step for me was, great, next deal, then next deal, then next deal. And to the point where I was so immersed, I was so obsessed with real estate that I was called crazy. So midway through our growth before financial independence, I actually presented opportunity to family and friends. How many of you presented opportunity to family and friends before? All right. Sometimes they're the most honest, brutal, honest people that will give you the feedback that you didn't think you needed. Well, for me, the one that stands out is my dad. So about 2.5 years into our growth, we obviously ran out of money. And I started to play with that PML stuff, that OPM stuff, private money lending, other people's money, blah, 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 blah. I presented it to him. And the thing he said to me, I will never forget: I am disowning you today. You are not worth the investment. You are going to leave a bad legacy. You're going to lose all our money. You're not going to succeed in this. You're going to fail. And when you do, I don't want to be related to you. I had two choices at that point. I could choose to receive it, like Keone said, or I could choose to say, you know what, Dad, you just don't understand yet. Proud to say that after we achieved financial independence, he came on board. In a matter of 3 years, I was able to get him out of his job 15 years early because he had medical conditions that he could no longer perform. It was either that, find a way to stick it out, or you invest in real estate. And he's so grateful that he chose into real estate. And that's what we do, guys. And so at the point of reaching that level of success, the natural progression of growth is what's next, right? Originally, my vision, my goal was get out of my job. That was my excitement. That was my driver. That was my why. The funny thing is when I hit it, it wasn't this woo, balloons, streamers, party, all that stuff. It was, okay, what's next? Now I got to sit into contemplation. I got to sit into wondering, why am I continuing to do this? I technically don't need to. And I found that there's a bigger purpose. And I got to talk to a lot of you how financial education isn't taught. It's not taught in our schools. It's not taught openly. Unless you're choosing to invest in something like this, you're not going to know about it. You just don't. If you think otherwise, go ask everybody who's not in this space, what is a PML, what is OPM, what is ARV, what is LTV, what is a ROI, what is an investment? Can you even buy real estate out of state? Most will say no. So my purpose here, now that I've accomplished what I've accomplished, is to be able to be of service. Is to provide value to others. Is to show others the way. I've trailblazed a path. It's not the perfect path, and it's still a path. The goal is to help educate and move people forward towards their goal. And if you're not in alignment to how I do it, there's millions of ways to do real estate. And real estate's just one vehicle that can get you financial independence. And that's why I stepped into my purpose. From success, others took notice. From success, I got credibility. From success, people wanted to follow our path. And that's where our company came from. WN came from. And it's a why not now company, because that was a question I kept asking people. Why not now? Oh, interest rates are high. Why not now? Interest rates are low, but the houses prices are too high. Why not now? You get where I'm going with this? It's never going to be a perfect time. It just needs to be the time for you to decide, go. Our company is nothing big. We're not looking for accolades. We simply want to help people who genuinely want to change their situation and may not know what the next step is. And that's all we ask, is that you allow others to speak into you, borrow faith from others who have gone before, saying you can do this, and find a way. And that's what we do in our company. So I hope that answers some of the questions from the VIP people. That's who we are. And Hawaii is always our roots. We started here word of mouth. We are getting a little bit larger. And at the end of the day, I still want to take care of my people. You guys are capable of doing this. 3,000 miles away is not that far. And whether you want to do that or you want to do it here locally, we got great team members, great affiliates, great investor friends of ours that go back 9 years that were willing to sit. Keone would willing to sit with just simply me and Jazz and have a little power session with just us three. So whether you think this group is what you need or just a third person or a second person, you guys can move mountains. It's your choice. So here's the thing I challenge you to do is one last thing. Network. Find people that are in the space you want to be in and find ways to add value. The biggest regret I had early on was not wanting to put myself in the position of somebody who was successful already. See, the thing is, we're going to get judged no matter what. And the successful people won't judge you. Because if they are, they're probably not successful. That's the harsh reality. And if you're amongst family and friends, you're going to get judged too. So what do you care? Figure out your goals, figure out your vision, figure out your why, and just go. Get in the space of those people. I love Keone's analogy. Change is scary. So I like to use the acronym FEAR, right? FEAR, everybody knows fear, fear. It's usually what shows up when change happens, right? Has two meanings. Forget everything and run. Or, I'm going to switch the F for Jen, faith everything and rise. It's your choice. We get to make a decision, and based on that decision, you can either go left or you can go right. What we like to talk about in our space, it's not necessarily making it right or wrong. It's about creating a result. If you aren't creating results, how do you know any of this stuff is real? See, I go back to the story of when I was at the meetup, when I was hearing people. All of that sound fine and dandy. Keone's analogy about everybody reading the books and getting the how-tos, right? All of that's good up here. How do you know it's real? By simply doing something. So find what that next step is for you. Take that next actionable step. Proceed forward. And I hope to be able to network with most of you. I may not get to all of you, and forgive me if I don't remember your name. It's been a long morning. I greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you for the time. Hope you found value. I pivoted.
All right, everybody. One big round of applause for all of our speakers today.